Hello. So today we are going to have a quick look about Magadha. Magadha is one of the most important region in the entire ancient history of India. So they all know after the later Vedic era, people started settling down at different parts of India. And this gave rise to 16 great Mahajanapadas. And Magadha is one of the most important Mahajanapadas. There are several reasons for that. Some of them are Magadha was having fertile land and this gave them a good output for their agriculture. Magadha was also navigable. Magadha was having great rivers and it was covered by large mountains that gave them protection from other invasions. So, in all way, Magadha was most powerful at that time. And Magadha is also having some good significance in the ancient history of India because two major important dynasties, namely Mauryans as well as the Guptas, have evolved in the region Magadha. Magadha the Magadha region is the present day Patna and Bihar. That region constituted Magadha. So, let us have a quick look about the kingdoms and the major kings that have ruled Magadha. So, firstly, we know the first major kingdom that ruled Magadha was Brihadartha. Brihadartha was one of the first known kingdoms that have ruled Magadha. After them, the Haryankas have ruled Magadha. Haryankas is the first important dynasty that have ruled Magadha. The major kings of Haryankas was Bimbisara and Ajatashatru, his son Ajatashatru. So Bimbisara was the contemporary of Gautama Buddha. And Ajatashatru is also having good importance because he conducted the first Buddhist council at Rajagriha, the capital of Magadha. And the saint was Mahakashyap. So, after Ajatashatru or after the Haryankas, then comes the Shishunagas. The Shishunagas is also having some importance because the Shishunaga king Kalashoga has conducted the second Buddhist council at Vaishali, and Shubhakami was the monk of that Buddhist council. So, after Shishunagas, then the important Nandas have ruled the Magadha. The major important king of Nanda was Mahapadmananda. Mahapadmananda was also known as Sarvakshatriyantaka, and he was the destroyer of Kshatriyas. He was the most powerful king at the Indian subcontinent at that time. Another important historical event occurred during the reign of Nandas, that is Alexander's invasion. Alexander has invaded Indian subcontinent around 324 or 325 BC. So, during the invasion of Alexander, all other Mahajanapadas except Nandas was become weaker. Alexander have never invaded Magadha because Nandas were ruling Magadha and Nandas were more powerful than other Mahajanapadas. So, the plot was clear for Mauryans. Chandragupta Maurya, along with Kautilya, at that time overthrown the last Nanda king, Dhanananda, and established the Mauryan dynasty. So, for the Mauryans, it was easier to consolidate their territory. All other Mahajanapadas were weaker, and this gave rise to the largest kingdom at that time in the Indian subcontinent, the Mauryans. So, coming to Chandragupta Maurya was a Jain, and he was a follower of Digambara style of Jainism, and the most important saint of Digambara was Bhadrabahu. So after their reign, Chandragupta Maurya and Bhadrabahu have travelled to the southern part of India, and they gave rise to the Digambara style of Jainism. And one other major important figure during Chandragupta Maurya was Megasthenes, the Greek ambassador Megasthenes, who wrote the book Indica. So after Chandragupta Maurya, then comes the Bindusara. Bindusara was the son of Chandragupta Maurya, and there is an interesting story regarding the Bindusara. The Kautilya was killed. There's a story that Kautilya was killed by the minister of Bindusara. The minister have told Bindusara that Kautilya have killed Bindusara's mother. You can just Google up those stories. Let's be apart. Let's come to the history. So, after Bindusara, then comes the great empire Ashoka. And even Bindusara have made Ashoka as the ruler of Ujjain. Then after his reign, Ashoka became the empire of Mauryan dynasty. Ashoka is having a great significance in the entire Indian history because Ashoka was a Buddhist propounder and he conducted third Buddhist council at Pataliputra. Mogaliputra Sutta was the saint of the third Buddhist council, and we all know the history of Ashoka, the Kalinga war, and the rock edicts of Ashoka and the pillars of Ashoka. There were many rock edicts and many pillars of Ashoka. It was written in Brahmi and Kharosthi. It was written in many languages, even in Aramaic. So, the importance of Ashoka is that Ashokan pillars was that the pillars was made, it was monolithic and it was polished and it was made of sandstone. That is the importance of Ashokan pillars. And Ashokan pillars was also having some Hellenistic influences because it was having some animal figures at the top, like we have now the lion king and other things. He also have built many viharas, chaityas and stupas. The Sanchi stupa and many other stupas, as well as viharas. Viharas were the living place for the Buddhist monks, and chaityas, their prayer hall. So Ashoka has built all these things. So that is the importance of Ashoka in the Mauryan dynasty itself. So after Ashoka, the emperors of Maurya was weaker, and thus began the decline of Mauryan dynasty. There were many other invasions from northeast. His successors were not successful in dealing with the boundaries in the northeast regions. So, as the dynasty of Maurya was declined after around 200 BC. So that was the end of Mauryan dynasty. And after the Mauryans, the post-Mauryan era, there were several small kingdoms that sprang up in different parts of India. And in Magadha, it was Shungas and Kanuvas that ruled Magadha. So that is what about. And in Shungas, we know Pushyamitra Shunga and Agnimitra Shunga were the most prominent kings. And that is what we have about Magadha during the entire ancient history. Thank you.